Back to the Game Smash podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Ahmed Yusuf.
And Alex the Core.
Alright, let's get in, just overview of the news. What am I thinking? Brain fell apart. So we got PlayStation Plus for February. We got Kim Woo added to Killer Instinct. EVO 2016 games announced. Gearbox takes our advice. Doesn't really do it properly. Final Fantasy 15 new trailer and Hearthstone shakeup. Just new stuff, new modes, all a bunch of stuff for Hearthstone. That should be really interesting. Let's talk about what we played this week. So I told you about my fiasco with the iOS version of XCOM for us, and how I went, fuck it, I'm going to Steam, right?
Yeah.
So I found this game, and I'm curious how you will respond to this. It's called Shadowrun Dragonfall.
Shadowrun?
Yeah, and my idea of Shadowrun was, Shadowrun was that one shooter that was kind of like weird magic, but also guns and stuff like that. This is actually a tactical RPG in the same vein as XCOM.
Yeah.
Like, it's turn-based, there's cover, and it's really interesting because I didn't realize this, but I actually am kind of intrigued by Shadowrun lore because it's kind of like a weird D&D like fantasy setting, but kind of pushed into a future Deus Ex setting.
Ah, yes.
So it's kind of like, you're in like a Deus Ex like cybernetic like cities and whatnot, and the corporate greed, but there's dwarves and trolls and shit.
Yeah.
And it's,
sorry. Yeah.
But no, it's really cool. What were you going to say?
Well, the thing about Shadowrun, the Shadowrun that was on the Xbox, is that it was it was pretty much, what was the name of that game? You know how EA took Syndicate and they pretty much sodomized it, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what Microsoft did with Shadowrun. Mm-hmm. Because Shadowrun, it's a tabletop game, right?
Yeah.
So it's more tactical RPG than Counter-Strike type first-person shooter. So a lot of people were already upset about that game when it first got released because, it was so different from what a Shadowrun game should have been. So it's funny hearing you say this now because, most Shadowrun fans weren't impressed when Microsoft first released that Shadowrun game in, 2007?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But that was my first introduction to Shadowrun, so I just always thought it was a shooter. I never realized it was an RPG.
Yeah,
this really
RPG.
Cool turn-based tactical RPG, kind of like XCOM, Fire Emblem, stuff like that. And the cool thing I like about it is, one, I like the idea of playing a thief and the choices in the game that you get to make. It's kind of like, how we were talking about how The Witcher, how a lot of small decisions have bigger ramifications?
Yeah.
Shadowrun does that very, very well. Because it's more like, it's kind of like you're playing as a group of thieves, and there's a lot of situations in which, you have to test your morals, and it's more about, if I do this, I'm going to feel pretty bad, but I'm going to have money. And the thing about the game that's really ingenious is that you're in this situation in which you're a thief and you're not really making a whole lot of money. So you're kind of put in a situation where I don't have to do all the dirt. I don't have to do all the dirty, shitty things in this game. But you're kind of thinking, well, what could I do so that I can buy the really expensive guns and upgrades and stuff like that? Yeah. So I really like that sort of dynamic where it's like money is actually kind of an issue, so your morals start to become a little bit more grayer.
Okay.
Like, it's a very interesting like design choice, and I like the characters. Like, there's like you've got your like thief team, and each character is very interesting. And like, there's even one. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but there's a character in the game who's like covered in cybernetics and whatnot. And what you learn through trying to upgrade is that the more cybernetics you put onto your character, the less like soul essence you have, which is like your magical power.
Okay,
and it makes you go, why is this character all cybernetic when she talks about magic? Like, was she a magic user and she just had too much power, so she had to, like, fucking Deus Ex herself up to, calm it all down? And it's really, really cool. I really enjoyed it, a lot of it, and I'm probably going to play some more definitely today. But really good game. Highly recommend. And then me and Alex, we played some Rainbow Six Siege yesterday, and it was kind of...
I saw you on.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because it hasn't been officially released for everyone, but they've released 2 new operators, and they're both Canadian based. Like, they're Canadian.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah, like, and they're obviously, the stereotype. Oh, Canada's cold, so we got to make frost, sort of snowy themed soldiers, but they're still really cool. Like, one of them's a defender called Frost. And she's got a really cool ability where she actually places bear traps on the ground that will incapacitate anyone who walks over them.
Bear traps?
Yeah,
yeah. Way to take us back a couple years.
But, it's really cool, and it's probably one of the most concealed traps in the game.
Okay.
And then the other operator is an attacker who's Buck, who's got, like, a cool, like, shotgun underbarrel attachment, which can go through walls and stuff.
Neither of them apologize when they whoop your ass.
Oh, that would be great. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, eh?
More stereotypes.
Yes.
More stereotypes.
Oh, I wanted to be like, after this, I got to go back to the igloo. But I do want to bring this up, though, because me and Alex had noticed this, unfortunately. When they released this new content, they also, unfortunately, I guess in a patch or something, there's a glitch going on in the game that's freaking stupidly broken. So, do you know Capcan from the game? He's a guy, he likes to put mines on walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So before this weird glitch happened, you would be able to see the lasers through the door. Like, if it was an open door, you would see this big laser line near the bottom, and as long as you weren't stupid, you could spot it, right?
Okay.
So for whatever reason, there seems to be a glitch where occasionally Capcan's mines don't have lasers.
Ooh.
So you will walk through an open door, and it will seem perfectly fine, and you'll just blow up.
Yep, that happened to me yesterday.
Happened to me.
Not a good feeling.
Not great.
Ooh.
And I'm just...
Damn, that would be pretty annoying.
Yeah, and that was rough, and it also kind of sucked, like, the new... this is a problem that I feel like a lot of shooters have, and I don't know what it is, but how to fix it. So I don't know how to fix it, but they released a new map, but we didn't actually get to play that new map, because it just was never in the queue. So it was just like... I want to play on the new winter map, and it's like we didn't get to play it once, and we played like for a good long 2 hours or so, like, or at least more than that. But yeah, no, that's what I played this week. But yeah, no, had a lot of fun with that still. What about you, Fawaz? What'd you play?
Oh, I got into Division Beta.
Ah, congrats.
Yeah. Last minute type thing. I think I got in Sunday night, but they extended it to Monday morning. Mm-hmm. So after downloading the 26 gigabyte file, I got to playing, and overall it's not too bad. The controls are pretty intuitive. It's your standard suite. Control wise, it's your standard third person shooter. The cover system is pretty cool. Yeah, the combat system is pretty cool. It was very reminiscent of Gears of War. There's a little, because in Gears of War you tap X or A, I guess. You tap A to like switch cover and stuff like that. But in this you have to hold it. If you tap, you detach from cover, which needless to say kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But at its core it's an RPG though, so you don't die that quickly. You don't die as quickly as you would in Gears. But I don't believe there's regenerating health in the game.
Okay.
So add that to the growing list of shooters that don't have regenerating health anymore. Yeah. Although since this is more of an RPG, it does make sense. Overall, it was pretty fun. There was only one story mission, so so most of the time I spent it like just wandering around, not really doing.
Yeah, just sort of exploring what you could. And
just exploring, and the one story mission was cool. What else? The Dark Zone Yeah, okay, cool. So the Dark Zone, I feel, is where this game is going to. Is the Dark Zone is what's going to make this game either be really good or mediocre, in my opinion. I
Okay.
did a little bit of time in the Dark Zone, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, just seeing random other players and stuff. The one issue that I have with the Dark Zone is that, as of right now, there's not much of a reason to go rogue.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the the downsides to going rogue are so many. Like first and foremost, once you go rogue, every other agent in the dark zone is alerted of the fact that you've gone rogue. Then they get wall hacked, so they can see you. Like no matter where they are, they can see you through
Oh,
walls.
okay.
Then you lose more experience if you die while you're a rogue agent. Dark zone experience, not like actual experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes you I think it takes you longer to respawn if you die while you're a rogue agent. I actually went rogue by mistake. So check this out, right?
Okay.
I'm running and then someone shoots me in my back, right? So I
Okay.
turn around and I see an agent behind me. So I start shooting at him and they're like, "Oh, you've gone rogue." I'm like, like what?
Oh, that would be so brutal. It's like, wait, no, I don't want to go rogue. You have gone rogue. Ah, shit.
Yeah, one thing though that they did that's really cool is that if you're in the middle of a firefight and another player, like you're in the middle of a firefight with the AI and another player like runs into your line of sight and you shoot at him, you don't immediately go rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So because like in situations like that, you're probably gonna accidentally shoot at other people.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, man, it was pretty cool. I unfortunately I couldn't play because none of my friends got into the beta. Nobody I knew got into the one of my other friends. He got in, but he wasn't online on Monday. Probably working like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
functioning member of society. And so I only played it solo, but I can definitely see myself picking this game up when it launches in March, especially since as of right now I don't really have anything in March that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, what about you, Alex? What you play this week?
So yeah, I played some League of Legends,
Yeah.
obviously.
All right.
Some Monster Hunter, obviously.
Okay.
Uh, but the one thing that's odd that I picked up this week is I started playing Skyrim randomly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. I decided I'm gonna make a Destruction Mage and just see how quickly I can blast through all these interesting quests
Mm-hmm.
just in random places in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skip all the boring ones and whatnot.
Yeah, I find it really interesting when you replaying Skyrim. You can kind of go, okay, that quest was fun. This quest was kind of meh. So you can kind of cherry pick which ones you want to do, which is
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was like running around blasting everything with lightning.
Nice.
It's definitely the best. Lightning is the best way to take down a dragon I find in the open because it has no travel time, so you could just hit him in the air like you're firing a gun.
Yeah. I find it funny how, like, I think Yahtzee pointed this out. When you're fighting dragons, you end up hoping that you're near rocks.
Yep.
Because you want to
there's
use
that.
the rocks as cover. Half the
Yep,
time.
every time.
It's like,
Of course, when you got the high magic level that my character does, you can just heal through their element.
Nice.
It's the magic. Yep.
But yeah, that's what you played this week?
Yeah, Skyrim, League of Legends, and Monster Hunter.
All right, cool. All right, let's get into some news.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot. Big one. Killing Floor 2.
Oh, yeah?
I think I bought that at the beginning of last week.
Yeah.
But I got Killing Floor 2, and it's still in quote-unquote polished beta state,
Mm-hmm.
but they've got most of the content out, just a few classes that they might release
Mm-hmm.
to add on to the game, but it's perfectly functional. It works well, and I've been having a blast with that so far.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get to see more. PS4 release, especially.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be pretty happy with it just on PC.
Fair enough.
But
Yeah, Fawaz, you're going to enjoy it on PC as well, right?
Oh my god.
So let's get into some news. All right, so PlayStation Plus for February. We got a bunch of games got announced. I think the two that really stood out for me, though, Helldivers Super Edition.
Yeah.
That basically Helldivers, the game we've talked about a lot over the podcast. with all the DLC included, is going to be free in February, and the best part, free for PS Vita, PlayStation 3, and PS4.
Yeah.
So all systems.
Yeah. Yep. Helldivers Democracy Strikes Back Edition. Nom Nom Galaxy, which I have no idea what that is.
Crazy indie game.
Yeah, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Yeah.
Tana's been trying to get me on that, but honestly, and I was just thinking about this last night, when it comes to getting, like, I don't like getting fighting games in the instant game collection because, like, fighting games take a lot of time to learn.
Aww.
Yeah, so
but I can't make Alex play Persona Arena Ultimax anymore because he was getting mad at me.
I don't remember much of what, like, we fought each other mostly, right?
Yeah.
In that game, yeah. I don't know. I feel like in a fighter game, where you have to memorize all the moves, I end up just picking like one character and just trying to do reasonably well with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's how you're supposed to play them, though. Because, like I said, they take a lot of time. Like, if you want to learn how to play a fighting game properly, it takes it takes a commitment, right? Mm-hmm. And then to then take that commitment and apply it to another character, especially in a game like Persona. I haven't played Persona, but I've played a lot of Arc System games, and I'm going to assume that, similar to Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, every single character in Persona is extremely unique. Yes. So, like, after playing one character, to now carry that over to another character, it's very difficult. So, like, fighting games just take a while to learn, and I'm not going to... an investment, right? And I'm not going to play Persona or Ultimax long term. Like, that's just not going to happen.
I'm all alone with my Persona.
Yeah, that's my problem with all fighting games, really, other than Smash Bros. Is I don't expect to run into people who play it. So it's like, what's the point of putting all this time into learning it? Like, you have to run into people that will play it to make it worth it for me.
I mean, you can just play online, or you can, like, I'm actually going to, there's a fighting game club in Ottawa that I go to every single week, and if you don't want to play online, because I hate playing online, so you can just play with real people there, and then, there's a lot of, I mean, like, meeting people is not difficult. Like, I can find people in Ottawa that play any game. Seriously, there's people in Ottawa that still play Soul Calibur 5, and it's Ottawa we're talking about. Yeah. much less a bigger city like Toronto. So actually, finding people isn't that difficult. For me, it's just the investment. Like Guilty Gear, for example. I started playing Elfelt in August, maybe even earlier than that, right? And I just starting to feel like I'm not garbage with her. Anymore, right? That's like 6-7 months, and this is a game that I already had like a bit of history with. So yeah, like Persona Ultimax, I
personally, though, I think it's a great game to have for free. Like, it's like, as someone who, like, I have only played a couple fighting games, I still think it's a good fighting game. Like, I enjoy it a lot. And that's why I feel like this month was way better overall than last month.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I already have Helldivers. But if there's anyone listening to this podcast that doesn't have Helldivers, I fully recommend it. The version that they have is the Democracy Strikes Back. I think you get, like, the snow boots and the snow outfits and the stratagem for free.
You
I
get
tried to download it because
basically
I don't have that stuff. Sorry, you were saying that?
I was just saying that you basically get most of the DLC for free, from what I can tell.
I'm not sure. I don't think you get like, because most of the DLC is free, right? The expansion packs are all free, but the actual DLC stratagems, those ones aren't free. So I don't think you get all the new DLC stratagems, the new mech, the new motorcycle, all that stuff, the new tank. I don't think you get that stuff for free, but I'm not entirely sure. Because there's so many different versions of the game at this point.
Yeah,
because every time they release a brand new expansion, they re-release the game again. But the impression I've gotten is that this version only comes with the snow boots and that stuff. It doesn't come with all the other extra DLC, the new weapons and all that cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's still fun. It's a really fun game. I spent most of last year playing Helldivers. So
I got a feeling that my friends, Charles is going to be picking that up, and then we'll probably have a 4-man Helldiver group for the first time.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be, good fun awaits.
But yeah, cool stuff. And before I forget, they also did announce that they are doing the vote for the next
Vote to
PlayStation
play.
vote to
Yeah,
play.
Vote to play is coming back, and the collection is pretty cool this year. So like up the top, I'm gonna say Action Hank has no shot at winning this.
Oh yeah,
Just looking at the comment section, so I'm not even gonna waste time talking about that.
yeah.
It comes down to Assault Android Cactus and Broforce.
Broforce.
Yeah, personally, I'm gonna vote for
Oh,
Broforce
I'm voting for
because it's
Broforce.
pretty much in the Expendables, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure, and also, and this is another thing that isn't really mentioned. From what I hear, Assault Android Cactus does not have online co-op. It's only offline, right?
Oh, okay.
Whereas Broforce does. So just for that fact, I'm definitely voting for Broforce.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, plus all that '80s nostalgia, can't go wrong
All
with
that
that.
80s nostalgia. They've even got they've got a lot of characters in it. It's past they've gone past 80s heroes at this point. I think Bride from Kill Bill is in it.
I know Ripley's in it.
Yeah, Ripley's in it. There's like the cast is massive at this point. So I definitely want to give this a try.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Hopefully Broforce wins, but even if it doesn't, at least because I've known of Broforce for like 2 years now. And it's been in like what's that thing called? Early access.
Yeah.
Very long time, and I've been waiting for the console release. So with this, we know that Broforce is coming out next month. Whether free or not, Broforce is gonna be available next month. I might end up buying it. I mean, I'm probably gonna buy the Division because I just remembered that it was because it was a choice between the Division and Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls 3 isn't coming out till April.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna buy the Division next month. But I might pick this up as well.
All right, cool. But pretty good month for PlayStation.
Yeah, pretty good month, and I'm looking forward to next month for the first time in a very long time.
That's a ringing endorsement from Fawaz. All right, next on our list, Kim Woo got added to Killer Instinct and whole new design and whatnot.
Yeah, have you okay? So how did you feel about it? How did you guys feel about it? I'm curious. Do you guys know what Kim Woo looks like in the old Killer Instinct?
Oh, I do, and yeah. I think
I have not the slightest clue.
I would say this: she does not look great in the old Killer Instinct. She does not look. Okay. She looks very dated. I would describe her design.
Yeah.
From the '80s, and it's like a pink, like Asian dress.
We'll have an image.
We'll have an image on screen while we're talking about this, but it's not that great a design. So when they're like, all right, we've got, we're gonna make her more buff, and she's got like a cool like open shirt kind of thing going, an undershirt, and I also liked how she was kind of sassy. She was like, I'm gonna give fucking evil the middle finger and that, and I was just like, oh, that's great. Yeah. I also really liked I think at one point in the trailer she was swinging her nunchucks and then I think she hit herself by accident.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Like I really like it when like characters, like fighting game characters, they're not just like these perfect like warriors, like they kind of fuck up in the animation. Like, yeah. I love how, this was in Persona Arena Ultimax, when Yosuke comes onto screen, he trips and falls. It's great.
Right.
But what did you think, Alex, of her new design?
I mean, I have nothing to compare it to, but looks like an interesting character to play. I mean, she has, a lot of, what else? I guess dragon powers coming out of the nunchucks. That kind of looks nice.
Dragon nunchucks.
I assume there's something other than just like special effects streaking off of the nunchucks. Like there maybe be some magical moves in there somewhere.
Yeah, like probably like well, what did you get from this Fawaz? Like just from
well, like aesthetically speaking, because let me get on that first. It was I was really surprised to see the redesign, but because they went very Jubilee. I don't know, she just reminded me a lot of Jubilee, which is never a good thing. But but no, I liked her design. She's got a lot more personality now. Because the old Kim Woo was just a stereotypical, serious, chosen one type character. But in this, she's a little sassier. And sass it's always dangerous when you make a character sassy. Yeah. Because, it can go, they can be cool or they can be
it can be annoying.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But overall I really liked her design. You know, like I've gone on and on and on about how I've loved all the designs in this game. From a gameplay point of view, she looked like she had a parry. She had a bit of an air dash in there. Your standard, because you know every fighting game has their Bruce Lee type character. So she had a lot of the standard stuff that you expect from a character like that. You know, with Maxi and Maxi. Shit, what's his name?
Come on,
Fei Long, for God's sake.
Yeah, come on, Fawaz. I totally knew that as well.
But like, from a gameplay point of view, I couldn't really pick up too much. She had a bit of an air dash. She had a parry. She had the little blue dragons that float around her. I feel like they're probably tokens that she can like because like Spinal, the skeleton, he has something similar where he can build up skulls and then he can cash them in for certain things. I can't remember what exactly. And I feel like she probably has something similar because at certain points in the video, her nunchucks went from glowing yellow to glowing blue. So it might be like a power up thing where she cashes in one of the dragons to power up her nunchucks. Overall, though, she looked pretty cool. I liked her. However, the biggest thing about this trailer, though, unfortunately, no disrespect to Kim Woo, but she was not the star of this trailer. What really got me was the revelation for who's coming next at the end of the trailer.
Arbiter from Halo, the Halo series.
Oh my god! I was like, what? You know, when they showed Rash from Battletoads, I think they mentioned or I speculated, I can't remember one or the other, that maybe there was going to be more crossover characters in season 3. And then now we've confirmed it. At the very least, we're going to have 2 crossover characters in season 3 with Rash and now the Arbiter. My only hope, Tanner, is that they get Keith David.
It's gotta be. You gotta have Keith David. I don't care if they have to just like lift like voice clips from the other games. Like it's gotta have. You can't beat Keith David. Like trying to like recast Keith David is like the worst idea in the world.
Honestly,
his voice is just so smooth.
Because I mean, we didn't get a full clip of the character. It might not even be the Arbiter, but I think it is. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But I'm really excited to finally get a gameplay trailer for this character. Because you know, like Kim Woo was the last confirmed character that we knew of. You know, everybody at this point is brand new. Like we have no idea. You know, everybody at this point is going to be a surprise. So I was really excited, and yeah, they did not disappoint. Arbiter. Looking forward to it.
Oh, super looking forward. Can't wait for that. Were you surprised by that, Alex, seeing Arbiter in this kind of fighting game?
I think the Arbiter is going to be pretty cool in that fighting game.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, yes, sorry. Only heard it like twice. But anyway, Killer Instinct, it's just interesting because it looks like the other characters would be more like spiritual and like more raw physical fighters. And, you know, Arbiter represents a more sci-fi series. So it's interesting to see a little sci-fi injected into that. And, I mean, Energy Sword OP.
Oh, Energy Sword OP. I can't wait. Oh, imagine imagine if he just becomes a joke character and the Energy Sword just is like an insta-kill. I hope they don't do that, but that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, it would.
Just real quick before we move away from this, anyone here play Dead or Alive 3 or was it 4? Dead or Alive 4.
I played it for 5 minutes at a convention once, and I just had no idea what I was doing.
Because Dead or Alive 4. Sorry, you were saying, Alex?
Sorry, I played one of the Dead or Alive games. I'm not sure which one, but I played one when I went to visit a college friend when I was in the game development course.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So I had like one session of it.
Yeah, because there was Microsoft had a crossover with that game as well. Spartan 458, a random Spartan. She's not actually in the Halo lore, but she was in the game and she was pretty cool. I mean, her moveset was very limited, but she had this really cool throw where she picks you up and then she punches you in the stomach with a plasma grenade and then kicks you away and it blows you up. So it was cool. I used to play her a lot just for shits and giggles. She wasn't very good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle the crossover this time. But I guess sticking with fighting game news, the 9 main games for Evo 2006 have been announced, and they are Street Fighter 5, obviously, Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3, obviously, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Killer Instinct, MKX, Tekken 7. Guilty Gear Revelator. That was a surprise because, and I'll get into why a little bit later. Okay. And then the biggest surprise, Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, Pokken.
So now this list has people upset. People have been very upset with this list. Now let me clear the Guilty Gear surprise first, and then I'll get into the list. The reason why I'm surprised that Revelator is going to be the game is because Revelator just got its stateside announced date released for June 7th. Which is about a month, maybe 5, at most 6 weeks before Evo. Now, Japan have had a Revelator since August. So they'd have had it for about a year by the time Evo comes along, whereas America would have had it for like 6 weeks. So Japan is already better than us at Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is Japan's game. Top 8 last year had 7 Japanese players and 1 American, and he got eliminated real quick. So,
that kind of sucks in the sense where it's like anyone who isn't in Japan is just realistically not going to have even a slight chance just because they just won't have enough time to practice.
Yeah, it really does suck. I mean, odds are Japan was going to dominate top 8 anyway, but now it's all but guaranteed, which is a real shame because I think America has gotten a lot better between last Evo and this year, but we won't have an even playing field. So the list in general has gotten a lot of criticism, for one, because this is the first year since 2008, I think, where Street Fighter 4 didn't make it. And people are like that, okay, why are there 2 Smash Brothers games and not 2 Street Fighter games? Personally, I hate Street Fighter 4, so I'm fine with it not being at Evo. And then the reason why there's always 2 Smash Brothers games is because the Smash people support their games. Like, personally, I don't think there should be 2 of any franchise at all. But the Smash people come out in droves, so it's like, what can you do?
Especially, they come out in droves, and there is the audience between, like, Smash Wii U and Melee is really, really different. Like, there's a huge split. Like, there's a lot of Melee purists that say that the other 2 games don't exist. So
standard shit.
Yeah. But Alex, what do you think of the list that they have announced so far?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to get a little perspective beyond the Smash games. But, I mean, I think it's cool that the most recent Smash games is included on the list. It's a game that I actually have and play on somewhat, well, not that often, but I wouldn't mind going to see people play the newest one and just see what the meta is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like this is a good... I think it's an overall good list just because I feel like these games are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, as long as the games are fun to watch, that's the key here.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the issues, though, is Pokken, right? So when I saw Pokken Tournament on there, I was like, okay, cool, this is interesting. However, from a tournament running perspective, Pokken Tournament is going to be a nightmare because you can't play it on one system. It has to be across 2, right?
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and then it's not. You're gonna have to play it over they're gonna LAN it up or Wi-Fi it up. So it's gonna be an absolute nightmare to run the Pokken tournament.
Because I know the Pokken. But just from a perspective, because apparently the only way to play locally for Pokken tournament, and I guess we never really talked about this that much, is one person gets the full screen and the other person gets the tablet.
Ooh,
so
that's not going to be
that's not going to work, and that's probably why they're doing the LAN system. is
Yeah.
because you can't be like one person gets an actual screen and the other person gets a shitty tablet screen. Like,
And then one last thing, the other big surprise here is Tekken 7.
okay.
Not because, because Tekken is always at evil. That's not why it's a surprise. It's a surprise because Tekken 7 hasn't even begun console development yet.
Yeah, that confused me a bit.
So, like a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even think Tekken 7 was coming out this year. And now it's like, oh, is it coming out this year? It's coming out. It's going to be out before July. Because, I mean, it has to be out before July or, like, we're not... What? How is this going to be played, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have giant arcade cabinets on the stage, so...
Well, that's the only way to play fighting games, giant cabinets that are impossible to film.
Yeah. Oh, and then one last thing. I know I said last thing. Some people are kind of upset that Marvel 3 is still there because it's a quote-unquote dead game, but it's not. Marvel has a lot of people, like, the cool thing, it's cool to hate on Marvel. Like, a lot of people love hating on Marvel, but a lot of people are idiots. So, like Marvel
I mean, like, I understand because it's like I do realize that Marvel is just not as popular as it used to be. Like,
no, it's
like,
a flawed game, right?
Yeah,
but when you compare it to all these other games, it's the youngest game, it's the oldest game there outside of Melee, right? So obviously it won't be as popular as it used to be, right?
Yeah.
And then it never got patched. It never got any new characters, it never got balanced, and no characters ever got banned. So, like, you just had to learn to live with the problems with the game. A lot of people, like myself, were like, you know what, screw this, I don't want to live with this crap.
Yeah.
But, like, I understand why it's still there. It's very popular. It's very fun to watch, and the game still rewards skill.
Yeah.
So it has every right to be up there as Melee.
Yeah.
So anyone who thinks it shouldn't be there can, eat shit. Pretty much.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Fawaz dishing out some harsh words.
I just tell it like it is.
All right. But next on our list.
Speaking of eating shit.
Amazing segue.
How's that for a segue?
Yeah. All right. So, Gearbox released a bunch of trailers for some new heroes, and these are quote unquote ability trailers. Now, we had been complaining about this for a while. Just give us an ability trailer so we can figure out how the hell these characters work. So we get these and we're like, okay, they're finally listening to us. And the trailer is just gameplay. Like, it's about 3 minutes of gameplay. There's no, like, breakdown of what the character can do. It's just showing the character in gameplay. And it's like, there's no explanation. Yes. And Alex and I were talking about this earlier, but it's, like, in comparison to, like, League of Legends, like, it just does a way better job of, like League of Legends explains how the new champions work. Like,
that they do.
Yeah.
They just, and it's pretty simple. You just pick each ability and you describe, like, what its limitations are and what it's good for, and then you move on to the next ability, one after the other. But I guess they rather just release a basic trailer for their characters.
Yeah,
Here's what's really embarrassing. There's actually a channel, and I'm gonna give them a quick shout out right now because of how impressed that was. Called Mental Mars. It's a channel on YouTube, and they took it on themselves, or he or she, whatever, took it on themselves to actually make ability trailers for all the Battleborn characters that are better than, like, I watched the trailer and I thought it was actually a Gearbox trailer because they use the same fonts that the Gearbox characters use, and they don't talk about the trailers, obviously. They don't talk about the abilities, obviously, because they don't have the tools to do so. But they, like, cut the trailer down in such a way that, okay, it shows you, okay, so this person, one ability is the hook, one ability is this, the ultimate is this, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Seriously, like, this person, I asked in the comment section, I was like, dude, is this an official Gearbox thing? And they were like, no, they're just doing it because, no one else will. Fucking Gearbox, man. Like, I have to give them credit for one thing, though. They're the first company that has ever actively made me just lose interest in their game. Seriously. I mean, let me rephrase that, because a lot of companies have done that without doing any
not just
pre-order
Gearbox
bullshit, any DLC bullshit, any of that. Just their marketing for their game has made me stop caring about their game.
And it's a shame, because I don't really think this game's going to be bad. I think
it's actually going to be good.
I think it's going to be relatively good, and and we've talked about how there's clearly more content than in Overwatch in this game.
Yeah.
Because this game has a lot more modes. But yeah, no, it just kind of sucks, because this is just kind of lazy marketing.
Honestly, the Atticus trailer isn't even edited well. The sound is missing on his attacks in the Atticus trailer. It is shameful. It's absolutely shameful that a video game company releases footage this, like, subpar. Seriously. Like, he's punching people and you can't even hear the punches connect because the sound is missing. I'm like, did no one watch this stuff before you released it? I don't understand. Seriously. And I think part of it is personal.
Audio's hard.
I think part of it is personal, because I'm like, I'm a video editor. I'm sitting here unemployed, and then they're releasing all this craptastic footage. I'm like, seriously, I'd make, honestly, and I'm not even being arrogant here, I would make better trailers than this for minimum wage for these fools. But hey, you know what? We just rather make craptastic trailers and have all our hype get devoured by Overwatch.
At the very least, though, I will say this, at the very least, we did get at least a slightly character-based trailer. Like, you know...
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I would rather have any steps forward than no steps forward.
Touche.
Yeah, and you know, at the very least... I'm hoping that eventually that we're getting close to release, so I think at this point it's like there's no point in them trying to fix these trailers, because it's like the game's gonna be out by the time they fix them. So it's like,
at the rates they're going, they'll be fixing the trailers by the time they're releasing the DLC.
Just so you know, Alex, this is another patented Game Smash moment in which we shit on Battleborn.
Oh my god, what are we going to do when Battleborn gets released? Who are we going to shit on weekly when Battleborn is finally out?
We've got plenty of ideas. We got Konami, and we've got
who's Konami?
EA, or not Konami. The company.
Just the company, yeah.
What's company? I don't know of any Konami.
Konami, yeah. What is this Konami?
Not even worthy of bashing.
No,
that's a good point.
Well, you weren't here on the last podcast when I brought out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michael Bay movie. Fawaz was just
Ninja Turtles movie.
It just doesn't exist.
One from the 90s.
Yeah, that one.
That was a really good movie.
Yeah. We're all about the ignorance placed on this podcast. All right, let's next topic.
We just got a new Metal Gear Solid trailer.
Oh, we did. Technically, it was called Final Fantasy 15. So the new well, it was funny because the first thought when I saw the new Final Fantasy 15 trailer, which we're going to talk about, is that wow, that's a whole lot of Metal Gears. And like, oh, he's stealthing in like a base. Just like.
It looks more Metal. There were more Metal Gears in this trailer than in all the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailers combined, to be honest. I was watching this and I was surprised. It looked absolutely nothing. I mean, first of all, I haven't really been following Final Fantasy 15 because my what's this thing called? My attention. I have a very short attention span. You know, for most video games, 5 years is the most that I can stay interested in the game. So, you know, once it passes 5 years, I kind of...
the game was announced in 2007.
Wasn't it 2006, actually?
No, I think it was 7.
Before the PlayStation 3 came out.
Oh, no, I think you're right, 2006. God damn, that's like 9 years.
I have absolutely no interest. Like, let me rephrase that. If the game comes out and you guys are telling me good stuff about it, I'll look into it, right? Yeah. But, like, pre-release hype, I'm done. I'm not I have no interest.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to pick this game up because the first thing it's doing is, one, the gameplay is different. Like, it's more of a action RPG than a turn-based one. So that
it looks more Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I like it. Like, I've been the advocate of, dude, fucking Kingdom Hearts is sick. and I'm really excited for this game, and it just looks really, 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 really cool. And
The graphics look insane.
What?
The graphics look insane.
Oh, just insane! Like, what did you think of the graphics, Alex? You were talking about them earlier.
Which game, sir?
Final Fantasy 15.
I mean, yeah, they look pretty good. Very pretty graphics. A lot of special effects and explosions.
Lighting was really good, especially
Lighting
in
was
that
good.
trailer.
The particle effects were on point. The explosions, oh my god!
Oh, just
it looks really good. But what I was saying is that it looked, the little that I know of the game, it looked nothing like the game that I thought it was going. Because when I think of the game, I think I equated it to Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, sure, the gameplay kind of looks like Kingdom Hearts, but what's with all the stealth? Could you do stealth in Kingdom Hearts? I never finished that game.
No, you couldn't.
Me, but,
I do know that stealth is definitely a thing in this game, because in the special demo that came with like Final Fantasy Type 0 or something like that, there was a mission in which you had to like stealthily track a behemoth, and it was really cool, and you had to like kind of hide behind cover and whatnot. And stuff like that. And I like the fact that they're mixing it up. Like, it's like, all right, there's going to be some fighting, there's going to be exploring, and there's going to be a little bit of kind of cool stealth.
Yeah. Personally, I don't like. I don't know of a single video game that isn't actually a stealth game that has done stealth well.
That is fair. I'm just glad that they're mixing it up. Like, I will take this chance of them. Yeah, the stealth might not be that great, but I would rather them try new things than just do the same thing that they've been
I'll give you that.
They've been doing.
And the game looked amazing. You know, I watched the trailer and it looked absolutely, not just graphical, even from a gameplay point of view, it looked pretty cool. So yeah, you know, I said, I'm not going to be following the day-to-day stuff. I'll only follow the trailers when we have to talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah.
But when the game comes out, I know for a fact, if this game is good, you're going to let me hear it, and Jason is never going to let me hear the end of it. And if this game is bad, you guys are going to let me hear it.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
So I will know. And then if the game is really good and it comes out when there's not a lot of games.
Listen, I am more excited to play as the Backstreet Boys than I ever was as Lightning. Just make that clear. I will take Backstreet Boys over Lightning every day.
Oh my god. There's another Game Smash classic, you know, shitting on Lightning.
Shitting on Lightning.
Yeah, there we go. We're keeping with
Alex will slowly...
I remember that one from last time.
Oh, before I forget, this is just a shout out to Lobster Monk. He did comment about, or that podcast Alex and I were talking about the bang, kill, marry characters in video games.
Wait, what?
What? You were there. That was
we were talking about what? Sorry.
No, okay, maybe Alex, you weren't there, but Fawaz, it was the Caden James Vega fiasco.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. Which one was it? I think he posted it somewhere just as a shout out. He was taking, he said he'd bang Ash from FF12, marry Kathy from Harvest Moon, and kill Claptrap from Borderlands.
Oh my god, Lobster Monk, you are my homie.
I especially... Yeah.
I hate that character. Claptrap is the reason it took me almost a year to finish Borderlands. I didn't because I thought he was the main character in the game. I was like, I can't do this.
I see that's why. I see that's why you stayed away from the pre-sequel, as he was one of the playable characters.
Yeah, I'd not be able to co-op with anyone that plays Claptrap. I just keep shooting at you. I can't stand that character. I cannot stand
friendly
Claptrap.
Fire. You know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I missed that episode.
Yeah, no, that was quite a treat. But last on our list, Hearthstone, really shaking it up with a bunch of new.
Okay, so
news. Go away for what? Sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot of stuff, and I've tried to read up on it as much as possible, but it's a lot of stuff. So I apologize if I missed something or I misunderstood something. Okay. But so what Hearthstone is doing is they're introducing a new mode called Standard. They're changing Standard completely. They're turning it into a new thing, and they're taking the Hearthstone that we know and love, and they're leaving it as Wild. It's called Wild, right? Now, what's going to happen in Standard is that it's going to be a sealed type of set. So any expansion cards that are more than 2 years old will no longer be playable in Standard. Starting off with Naxxramas and GVG. When Standard launches, Naxxramas and GVG will not be playable, and then they'll slowly weed shit out. They're also going to balance. There's going to be a balance patch. They're going to a wide balance patch for a lot of the old cards, a lot of the classic cards, a lot of the basic cards are going to get patched. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of nerfs, apparently, not a lot of buffs. I don't know why they love nerfing stuff and not buffing anything. It's anyway, let me not, I digress. Yeah. He added more deck slots.
Reverse power creep.
Yeah.
He added more deck slots, 9 more deck slots, so for a total of 18.
This is something that I was really happy to hear, because it's like, especially in like a card game, like you're gonna want to make more than 9 type of decks. Like, I know 9 is still a good amount, but it's still like, sometimes it's like you want to make an experimental deck and you don't really want to delete one of your, bread and butter decks that you're used to using. So I'm really glad that they're doing this.
Yeah. One other thing, formats not currently in Standard will no longer be available for purchase in the shop. So, like, when this launches, you'll be able to buy the Naxxramas anymore. You'll be able to buy. You won't be able to buy the Naxxramas Adventure, and you won't be able to buy GVG packs anymore. Yeah. You'll still be able to craft them with arcane dust, including the adventure cards. You'll be able to craft the adventure cards with arcane dust, but you won't be able to buy them. You can also, this is another thing, you once those cards get weeded out, you can disenchant them now. So you can disenchant all those legendaries that you got from Naxxramas. You can turn them all into dust now. Because most of the legendaries from like Blackrock Mountain were garbage, so you can just turn them all into dust. And hey, no one is going to
no one's going to shit
Eilish. They're going to do like it's going to be like an expansion year type thing now. The first year is going to be the year of the Kraken, and then next year they're going to redo it. The switch is going to happen when they release the spring expansion, and then the only playable cards are going to be the classic, the basic, TGT, the Grand Tournament, aka the Dust Tournament, because all the cards in that thing were shit. League of Explorers, and then the new expansion. So it's going to be interesting to see. The big thing is that a lot of staple cards are no longer going to be usable. Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom.
Yes!
The big
so fucking glad that he will be gone.
That's exactly. When I saw that, I was like, man, Tana is gonna be so.
I'm so happy about that, because fuck Dr. Boom, because I don't have him.
Dr. Boom's gone. Lotheb's gone. Sludge Belcher. I think this is probably the biggest one. Sludge Belcher is going to be gone. Mad Scientist is gonna be gone. Thank God. Haunted Creeper's gone, Zombie Chow's gone, Antique Healbot's gone, Piloted Shredder's gone.
Oh, that's kind of, that's gonna, and a lot of cards are gonna be gone. So what I do love about this is that it's gonna make it so that new deck ideas are gonna come out of this. Like, it's not like, I have to bring, the Taunting Robot or something like that. Like,
I mean, the issue with that, of course, is that the reason why these cards were played is because they were the best in their class, right?
Yeah.
Someone else is just going to take their place.
Yeah, but at least we won't be seeing the same cards over and over again. Even though there's going to be someone taking their place, at least it will be a different, look.
This is true. It's going to be a different look. One other thing, is that any card that summons other cards will only summon cards that are that are available in Standard. So I can't think of an example off the top. Okay, Dark Peddler, for example. Dark Peddler it's a card that says discover, and it gives you a choice between 3 1-drops, right? It will only pick 1-drops that are available in Standard, so it can't give you Zombie Chow anymore. Hypothetically speaking, let's say Paladin Shredder was still available in Standard, it would only be able to spawn 2 drops that were in Standard, so you would not see Snow Chugger, you would not see Shielded Minibots, and stuff like that. Overall, it's going to be interesting to see, because the biggest adaptation is going to be losing Naxxramas. Naxxramas cards have been staples for almost as long as I've been playing Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
There are decks that only exist because of Naxxramas. Mid-range Hunter. Mid-range Hunter does not exist anymore. Like, period. Mid-range Hunter is not going to be a deck anymore when Standard comes along.
Yeah.
They're going to have to completely change the deck up. Mech Mage, obviously, RIP, because mechs were introduced in JVG. Secret Paladin, RIP.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's going to be a lot of changes. Just to compare this,
Demon Hadlock is gone.
Oh yeah, that's gonna. Just to compare this, so that just for you, Alex, you know what this reminds me a lot of? It reminds me a lot of in Magic the Gathering. Weirdly enough, how they'd standardize certain sets. Like
I'm actually following what you guys are saying pretty well. Like,
well, yeah,
I keep up with some of the cards. Like I watch Total Biscuit and his Hearthstone Let's Play, so I have a good idea of the cards.
Yeah,
the things you're talking about.
No, I'm just saying that it reminds me of Magic in a weird way. How they would standardize sets. Like it would be like, all right, Kamigawa came out, so you could only play tournaments with Kamigawa sets. You couldn't play with like some of the really old broken cards that came out like 5 years earlier. It kind of reminds me of that. So I'm really excited for this. Overall, I'm interested. I'm a little bit bummed out that now there's no way for you to purchase the adventures, from what I can tell, because that means that instead of like before, the reason why the adventures were good to me was because you're paying $20 for actual legendaries.
Yeah.
And now it's gonna be you're gonna have to just buy packs and try and craft dust to make these legendaries now.
Yeah.
Which is gonna
be. You can
still
buy League of Explorers, and League of Explorers is a very good adventure. Mm-hmm. So you can still pay $20 and you get a decent number of solid cards from League of Explorers. But it's a real shame because Naxxramas especially. I mean, BlackRock Mountain was kind of crap, but Naxxramas especially, it introduced so many good cards.
Yeah.
And for a lot of new players, people recommended. They were like, "How do I use my gold?" You're like, just invest in Naxxramas. I mean, sure, you're able to create like optimized decks, but you're able to create solid decks.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing of note though is that like we're commenting on all of this based on the current Hearthstone meta. A lot of cards are going to get they're going to review a lot of the classic cards and balance patch them. People are saying that Druid is definitely getting nerfed because here's the thing, and me and Jason joke about this a lot, is that Druid is the class that has changed the least. Between when we started playing Hearthstone and today, Druid decks have switched like 4 cards.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's pretty much been the exact same deck for this whole time. So this is going to affect Druid very, very... It's very going to affect Druid. So a lot of people are speculating that to balance that out, they're going to nerf some of Druid's cards. They're going to nerf the combo, which for people that don't know, Druid had this combo where you play 2 cards and from hand, with an empty board, you could do at least 14 damage. But then if you had any kind of creature on the board, the damage went up. And it was very, very good because Druid just play very aggressive. They set you to 14 health, and then they just keep waiting till they drew the combo to finish you off. People complain about it. It was fair. But like it still sucked when you lost to it, when you were just sitting there and you had no way to heal or taunt, and you were like, well, if he has combo, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And they always had it.
And it's interesting because I know, Alex, you had this problem where some of the nerfs to certain cards really fucked up certain decks.
Yeah, like when they nerfed the Hunter decks, I just basically stopped playing because I had invested. Like I was a noob and I don't buy card packs with real money, so I had to like do the daily challenges every day and get like 1 pack at a time kind of thing. Yeah. And Hunter deck was my way of getting things done quickly. Like getting my wins up, getting whatever challenges I need to do quickly and efficiently. And so then they nerfed that as like, well, I don't have a decent deck anymore. Yeah. And I'm not going to buy anything. So
well, in particular, it was the Vulture that got nerfed from like a 2-drop to like a 5-drop card.
Yeah, they made it completely useless.
Yeah, like it's just not viable as a 5.
The Buzzard Unleashed combo was bullshit. And it made the Hunter versus Shaman matchup impossible for Shamans. Because Shaman's thing was filling their board, and then the Buzzard Unleashed combo punished you for having a full board. Mm-hmm. I did not weep. I did not weep any tears when Hunter got nerfed. I hate Hunters. No offense.
No
problem.
But like it's like
just I didn't have all the cards. Like I'd be creative as I could, but like Hunter was a way to get shit done for me.
Yeah. Like there's only so much you can do when your cards are getting.
My goal was just a collection of cards to make fun novelty decks. Like I wanted a Murloc Warlock deck, and I wanted I don't know. I wanted to make like a Frost Mage deck.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
One thing of note is that when they nerf cards, you can disenchant the card for its actual value, right? So if they nerf a legendary, you get the full 1600 dust back if you disenchant the card for like a week after the nerf happens. So if you get, and this is for everybody listening, if you have any golden cards in your collection, do not disenchant any cards until they release the patch. Because a golden legendary, for example, if they patch, let's say, Jiraxxus. I have a golden Jiraxxus. I got lucky. I got a golden Jiraxxus. If they patch Jiraxxus, I can disenchant him for 3,200 dust, which is the equivalent of 2 legendaries. Don't disenchant anything until after the patch happens, because then you can see, then you can see, and maybe one of the cards that you have a golden version of will get patched, and you can get a crap ton of gold for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, overall, I think this is a cool way to kind of mix things up and bring new players into the game. And I'm overall really, really excited for this. So good job, Blizzard.
Yeah, worst case scenario is that the standard version sucks and everyone just goes back to Wild.
Yeah. And that's the key here, is that they weren't getting rid of Wild. Well, they weren't getting of the old way. They were just adding this new way to play it, which I like. Like, it would have sucked if it's like, oh no, Standard's the new format, so all those decks.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, good job, Blizzard. So before we wrap things up, we got question of the day from our good friend G Streets. J Streets asks us, not about video games this time. He just tell us more about yourself, your hobbies outside of gaming, and just more about ourselves personally. I guess I can go first if that's all right. With you guys? Okay, cool. Honestly, I do a couple other things other than gaming, mostly just nerdy stuff. I play a miniature game called Warhammer 40K. I may have mentioned this a couple times on the podcast. Nerd. Me and my friend, another guy on the podcast, not the podcast, but in the comments, Lobster Monk. We play Warhammer 40K, and we're addicted to it. It's a lot of fun, a lot of dice rolling, and I do paint a lot of miniatures. Like I try and paint miniatures a lot, and that's actually a lot of fun to me, especially when the models themselves are really, really cool. So there's like this really kind of great feeling of like when you spend like a couple hours painting this one miniature and it just comes out just awesome looking, and it's like, I did this, I created this, kind of thing. And I'm depressed because I know Lobster Monk is a better painter than me, and I go like, I did a really good job. Hey, where's your model? So it's like, that's a bit depressing, but it's still all good fun. I also do play Dungeons and Dragons occasionally. I know, big nerd, keeping on the nerd theme going. I like to DM a lot, which is being the dungeon master and sort of like being the storyteller of the game. And I like doing it a lot. I'm doing a campaign with Alex right now and a couple of other friends. So that's a lot of fun. And then other than that, I just like going to conventions. I like going to geek markets and spending money on nerdy merchandise. I've got a Attack on Titan. What's it? The Survey Corps. The Survey Corps. I got Attack on Titan Survey Corps cloak in my room. It's badass. It looks great. I've got a freaking Monster Hunter Ultimate 4 Gore Magala statue. I just like collecting nerdy stuff and just doing nerdy stuff with nerdy friends. Like, that's what I usually do. And, yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
Quick question before I forget.
Okay, cool.
In terms of nerdy stuff, if I wanted to get like a Lord of the Rings type, the necklace that's Frodo, the necklace that Frodo wears with the ring hanging off it. If I wanted to buy that, where would I buy it from?
You could get it at probably ThinkGeek. Or there's a couple other places you could get it. ThinkGeek usually has a lot. As far as like nerdy shirts and stuff like that, just other nerdy merchandise, Redbubble is really, really good because it's got everything. Because it's all it's not like it's not official stuff, but it's all like art based shirts. Like, for example, they have Persona shirts, and I have yet to find any company that sells Persona shirts. At least, ones that are not Japan based. So that's usually a really good site. But yeah, no, totally ThinkGeek or Geeks R Us, stuff like that.
Okay.
I usually peruse the online sites, but it's sort of like I'm like, expensive. Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
It's always worth it.
It's always worth it.
That's the answer to that question.
Yeah. But no, if you're asking that question to yourself, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm looking online on ThinkGeek, and there is a Death Star waffle iron. Do I need a waffle iron? You're damn right I don't need a waffle iron, but this is definitely worth it.
See, that's the kind of logic I love.
Waffles. Enough said. But no, for me, so outside of the podcast, I'm a huge basketball fan. Yeah, big surprise to Black Dude on the podcast, a basketball fan. I'm a huge basketball fan. I rep the Toronto Raptors. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, you are always posting Facebook updates about the Toronto Raptors.
I always post on Facebook when
another solid win from the Raptors. Another solid win from the Raptors.
Because I let people know that the Raptors are doing. Because people always shit on. When I'm like, oh, I'm a Raptor fan. They're like, oh, my condolences. Take your condolences and shove them up your ass. We're second in the Eastern Conference, 11 wins in a goddamn row. So hold your condolences, assholes. Yeah. But outside
so many harsh words from Fawaz on this podcast. Jeez, did something happen?
No, because people always get so they start feeling bad for me when I tell them I'm a Raptor fan, and it pisses me off because we've been doing really well for the past couple seasons. Yeah. But other than that, I similar to you guys, I don't do a whole lot outside of playing video games. I play video games. I read comic books. I love reading comic books. I don't read as much anymore. I used to just go to Chapters and I just read a couple trade paperbacks there. I don't.
Did you literally go to Chapters and just like, oh, I'm gonna buy it totally?
No. I just keep it real with them. I'm like, is it okay if I just read this? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, cool.
Oh, wow.
They let you read.
That's the nicest Chapters I've ever heard of, because I've tried to do that in Indigo, and I've gotten some really evil looks.
I don't know. I think I might have just been in your head, because it's in there that you're allowed to do that. They actually recommend that you do that. I go to them with wrapped comic books. I'm like, could you open this for me? I'd like to go read in the corner there. And they're like, oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked at that. I need to go to this Chapters, because that's like kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, the one downtown and the one in South Keys. I live by South Keys, so I go to the one in South Keys. So I try to read a lot. He also asked how we met. So let me just give a quick story about how the Game Smash podcast started.
Oh, here we go.
I've mentioned how, the Game Smash podcast started. They don't know about the Electric Joystick podcast.
No, they don't know about the Slick Joystick podcast.
Oh, was it the Slick Joystick?
Okay, so apparently when I was trying to come up with names for a possible video game related podcast, my thought process was like, okay, take two words and put them together. All right, video game controller. Oh, there's a joystick on it. That makes sense. But what's something cool? What's another word for cool? Slick, kind of rad, or like slick as in kind of more like a jazzy kind of cool. So I'm like, I got it. The Slick Joystick podcast. And I showed that to someone, and they just looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
God damn, man.
Yeah.
Gotta work on your internal filter.
Yeah, you really do. You see, the issue with you, Tanner, is that your mind is too innocent, right? Yeah, like that's the problem. I was playing.
I think let's agree to disagree on that one. Last time
Alex kind of knows me a little bit more.
Last time we were hanging out, I just mentioned the word Coke as in Coca-Cola, the soda, and his mind went straight to cocaine, and he made some comment about that. I'm like, what? I'm reaching into the fridge for a Coca-Cola. Come on, man.
Chill. Well, Alex is a drug. Oh, no. Didn't we have this conversation on the last podcast? So I know a lot about drugs.
When it comes to drugs, you don't mess with Tanner. But in terms of innuendo, apparently he's very,
well. Like, I had this conversation with someone. I didn't even know that Slay the Dragon meant jerking off, which is a thing.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Like, okay, good. So I don't feel bad about that.
You taught me that one. So, yeah.
I gotta go slay the dragon, guys.
Wasn't it like Marwat that said that?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Like, I get a lot of my drug info from Marwat, who's a kind of an associate of mine. But yeah, no, I don't know what that was. It was just really funny. And then finally, one of our friends who used to be on the podcast, Kevin. Oh shit!
Wow,
I forget his last.
What a good friend. He's like one of my good friends. It's Kevin.
Kevin.
It was Kevin Andrews. Okay.
Kevin Andrews. I was getting to that, Fawaz. You just rudely interrupted me. All right. I would never forget my good friend Kevin Andrews.
Oh my god. Yeah, it used to be three of us. Game Smash was actually Kevin's idea. The name was his idea. So we stole it and we kicked him off the podcast.
No. Let's make it real here. Basically what happened, Kevin, he got bank, he got successful, got a good job, and he just didn't have time. So
he's actually engaged now. So Kevin is out there being an adult while we're here talking about video games and jerking off. So
Yep. That's a staple of the Game Smash podcast. Wow, we are really breaking apart the formula here.
But this is what they wanted, right? They wanted to see us unfiltered. Yeah, well, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. This is us unfiltered. But yeah, that's sort of where the Game Splash podcast started. I actually met Fawaz at college, and that's where this all sort of started.
Yeah. It was the two of them, Kevin and Tanner, and then my good friend Asha. She was like, "Yo, Kevin and Tanner, they do this podcast, and I know you're very opinionated, Fawaz. So why don't you go hop in?" And I was like, "Hey guys, I'm a part of this podcast now." So
yeah, I remember that. Like, we all were in the audio room, and like, yeah, Fawaz is coming. This should be interesting.
And yeah, I just like imposed myself into the podcast, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of awesome because it's like a lot of our ideals were very similar in a lot of ways, which I thought was kind of interesting when we started. I mean, obviously we had different opinions about certain consoles at the time and certain games. Like I remember I was fighting with Kevin that Kevin was like, no, Beyond Two Souls is a good game for everyone, and I was like, no, Beyond Two Souls is cancer. It's like, oh, so bad. But yeah, no, that's sort of where it all started. And Alex, we've been partners in crime pretty much since we were born, pretty much.
Yep.
I've known Alex literally since I was an infant. We like basically grew up together. And he was the one who got me into video games, because he was the one who was like, I got a Nintendo 64, and I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So you were like the N64 kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. No. Okay, I was the one, because I remember when I got my Nintendo 64 for like my 6th or 8th birthday, I was the one who couldn't even pronounce Nintendo, so I just called it Nintendo. So I was just screaming, "It's a Nintendo 64!"
That's funny. Kind of cute.
Yeah.
Itty bitty Tanner and itty bitty Alex.
Itty bitty Alex.
Spazzing out over GoldenEye and Smash Brothers.
No, it was Alex playing Turok and me crying in the corner. Because Alex could handle all the traumatic memories. And I was like, I'm just going to play Zelda, okay? I can't deal with brains being pulled out of skulls.
and people getting cut in half. And
oh God, that was
manholes.
the worst. I couldn't believe that. That was terrible. That guy did nothing wrong.
We've already talked about this on the podcast.
No, we didn't
It was
talk
just a
about
random
it.
civilian you're walking with in the beginning of the game. Goes up the manhole, gets cut in half. It's like, okay, now it's your turn. I had to walk up there. But Tanner left the room by that point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it because it's like half of his body just fell down the manhole and you just see it and you're just like, where's the rest of him? What happened? Oh God. And I was like 8-ish. Like
I just looked at him like, oh, what's wrong? Nothing's
well,
wrong
fucking,
here.
you were growing up like, 8 years old. I can watch Alien, Predator, fucking, Jason. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Me, I was sheltered as fuck. Like, but yeah, no, that's sort of, yeah, me and Alex was the one who got me into video games, and Fawaz sort of helped, well, Kevin was the catalyst to the podcast, and then we sort of branched off there, and that's sort of how this whole thing got started, this whole crazy podcast. But yeah, no, that's basically it. Unless you got any more things you want to say, Alex, from
Well, I haven't actually said anything about myself.
Yeah.
I guess I can go into. Like, I don't.
I have a bad habit
like
of doing that.
99% of my hobby time is video games.
Fair
so
enough.
there's not much else to say as far as that goes.
Yeah,
but I
it's
guess
not-
other interests. I listen to music,
Yeah.
mainly like alternative rock,
Yeah.
and even just one or two punk rock bands. Billy Talent being one of the rare exceptions for punk rock. I don't watch a lot of other stuff or listen to a lot of other stuff. But yeah, alternative rock. I listen to Rise Against. I listen to.
Yeah, you're really into Rise Against, from what I can.
Yeah,
tell.
they're pretty cool. I just find it's good for. It's really good to listen to. Just. Oh, anytime.
Yeah, I know
really.
Rise Against.
Yeah.
And they're good for an adrenaline rush or
Yeah.
just to pass the time sometimes.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they make a lot of political. Didn't they have a song that was like criticizing the whole Hurricane Katrina situation?
My music tastes are really odd. I will say that, because I remember I was getting ready for work and my sister was like,
Prayer of the Refugee. There we go.
oh yeah, exactly, that song. But I remember my sister was like, why are you listening to I Need a Hero by Bonnie Taylor? And you're just
Why
black.
aren't you listening to I Need a Hero by Bonnie Taylor? I think that's the better question.
It's like, dude, it's a good song, and it gets me pumped. I don't know why. And then every once in a while, it's like, why am I listening to this random? I listen to okay, I will say this. I do watch a lot of anime. I'm probably the one. Yeah. No, it's not nerd. It's weeb.
Yes.
There's a difference. But I watch a lot of anime, mostly with my sister. Not gonna lie, I may or may not have just finished watching Sailor Moon Season 2 with my sister a couple hours ago.
That's on the internet now.
Yeah, just
Take that away.
just getting it out there, It's a very manly thing to do.
Yeah.
Sure. You keep telling yourself.
Hey, listen, I was having more fun watching that and losing my shit over the logic and line choices. I think the one line that just made me spit out my drink was when Sailor Moon was like in a dream and she was getting married and there was champagne, right? And all of a sudden, someone pops the champagne and oh, champagne's everywhere. Oh my god. And it's all over Sailor Moon, right? It just cuts to her in her bed and sleep talking, and she just goes, "Oh, I'm soaking wet." I just had a lot of trouble dealing with that line.
Wow. Yeah, I think we should probably end the podcast.
Yeah, let's just end the podcast.
A little too personal.
A little too personal. This is what Jay Streets wanted. Jay Streets is just clapping his hands yes. Oh, God. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us. If you like the podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll make sure to answer. Oh, God, I'm falling apart. Fawaz, why don't you end it this time?
Okay, so if you have oh my god, the pressure. If you have any comments in the comment section, just comment, and we'll make sure to answer them in the next podcast. And as always, this was Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf
and Tanner Liberty or William Liberty
and
Alex the Core.
We'll see you guys next time.
next time.
Damn it! You took my line, Fawaz. Ah!
Said I should.